Being changed from the event.
I gained 151 rating.
Wow. CFC?
Yeah.
Awesome. Man.
Yeah, I gained like, unfortunately, again, 4.5 out of 5. For FIDE, the only games that counted was like one of the wins and the draw. Obviously, the draw had to count. So,
Still though. Last time
and
I gained 150 points in a tournament was like I couldn't even like over 10 years ago probably.
this is my second time. The first time was in 2018. I went from 1400 something to 1600. Like I gained 220 rating in that tournament. So I went 5 out of 5, and they're all like much higher rated. So it was good.
So you're saying you have another tournament coming up in like 2 weekends?
Yeah,
And what's gonna be like the format for that one? Like time control and
90 plus 30. It's pretty
Mhm.
much like the universal format in Canada. Like
Oh, it's
for
all just 90 plus 30?
pretty much like you'll find some rare 90 minutes and that's it, like no increment, which is really strange to me.
I see.
But like I don't know if it's like the closed tournaments if they have anything different, but I'm not playing in them anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. How many rounds?
Uh, I think uh 5 or 6. Um,
Did you ever play like 3 games a day?
yeah. So the last
Oh
tournament
wow.
I did 3 games in them too. This one's a 3 like day tournament, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I don't know if it's five, like two, two, and one, or if it's like three, three, and one, or three, two, and one, or something. It's probably two, two, and one. So I'd say five, maybe.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about 90 plus 30 is that like if you're gonna do 2 rounds a day, then it's at least tolerable because you don't have a game that could last like 5 6 hours and then you have
Yeah.
to like play another possibly 6 hour game. But 3 rounds in a day, that's tough. Watch out for that.
Honestly, it wasn't so bad. Like I focused on stamina. My
Yeah.
my I didn't do any opening prep going into the tournament. I made sure I was like eating well, sleeping well, and then like I didn't talk to like I don't really talk to people in between games or a little bit, but like I kept it to a minimum. I didn't play anything. I didn't analyze anything in between games. I just kind of like sat there, shut down, waited for the next game, and like I was fine.
It's probably pretty wise actually. Like during the tournament to just do as little as possible
Yeah.
between the games actually. Yeah, I would say because it doesn't matter what happens in the opening of your third game. Like if you're just exhausted, like it's
Mhm.
gonna be really tough to
They
play
all
well.
lasted pretty long too.
Yeah.
Most of the games. So.
Wow. Okay, well, let's take a look at this game. I thought it was a really interesting one. So this tournament that you just played, how long ago was this again?
Um, it was. Let me check on the site. It was 0403, so it was like 30 days ago, pretty much.
Gotcha. Actually, these invitations are a little bit um, distracting for me. Let me just clear them so we can do. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no, no worries. Um, okay, so this was round three, right?
Yeah, the last one of the day.
Okay, cool. Oh, so this was the third game of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, and yeah, probably the lowest quality too.
Yeah, maybe. So you win the first 2 rounds. Now this is round three. Let me put your ratings in actually.
And funny thing, so first round, my opponent is like 2600 leeches, and it's like I don't know.
Wait, you said 2600?
Yeah, 2600 leeches.
Like
And like
their
one of the
blitz?
top yeah, and then like one of the top ultra bullet players or something like that. Like insanely fast and insanely good at tactics.
Right.
So I was like really scared to play them every single time.
Yeah, I can understand that. Um, But well, that stuff doesn't always translate to classical.
Yeah, positionally, he made some errors in both games. Which I was going for more positional games if I can get them, but I
Hmm.
was also trying to just play the position. Like, obviously, I'm not just gonna like avoid critical positions like tactics if it benefits me, just because he's better at tactics.
Yeah.
Um, but it was like opening wise, I was happy with my decisions, I guess.
Um, well, good, good. Okay, I'll set up here. Um, Someone says so 1300 feet, eh? It's funny. So knight of three, d6.
Yeah, I'm 14. I finally passed 1400 feet.
Oh no, no, I think they were saying in response to the 2600 Lee chess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was kind of funny because the last tournament I played against someone that was 1750 national, but he had like I think it was 2050 FIDE. It's like
That's actually
Canadian,
kind of rare, right?
yeah, Canadian ratings are all over the place, like
Huh.
because of the pandemic, I think.
So these are your CFC ratings,
Yeah,
right? And yeah, normally what I've seen is that
national's always higher, right?
national is higher. Yeah,
Hmm.
and sometimes CFC players are even underrated because the player pool is smaller compared to the US. So the smaller player pool, you guys are just beating up on each other all the time. So no one is like really. So
And it
a lot of
like
Canadian players are very underrated.
yeah, I was gonna say I think like the issue with Canada is there's all like the percentage of like scholastic players compared to like adults is so much higher, I think, than the US.
Or really higher because here it's pretty high.
Yeah, um, at least like that's the impression I got, especially because it's like you said, it feels like everyone's like severely underrated in Canada for their national ratings. Because it's like I don't know, there's very few times in tournaments that I've played against like older people. It's mostly kids, almost every single time. But I guess like obviously probably similar in the US, but I just feel like since there's less players and most of them are I don't anyways, no.
Well, I mean, it's good that kids are playing. Kids are the future. Okay, so he hits you with his bishop c4. Victor Lefort, is this? It sounds like an older guy, or is this a kid?
Yeah, that was one of the older guys.
Okay.
And I was kind of happy that, final game of the day was an older guy, energy wise, right?
Yeah, definitely. And also, it seems like the older players, they just kind of stick to their systems. Like Bishop c4 has been around for a long time. Might even be something he's playing like since his youth,
Mhm.
which makes them dangerous because they have like a lot of experience in these positions that maybe you haven't looked at right as
Oh, they
carefully as
said
like the Bishop
they were
g5
out of
stuff.
book after Bishop C4. Like, or like even for Bishop C4, they were like, oh, I don't see the classical heaven. So,
Wow. Okay,
um, they were
that's
just hoping it'd
interesting.
be like kind of like a Najdorf or something,
Oh,
which
because
is
against
kind of
Snyder if they play Bishop c4.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of times it does transpose, so that's not so crazy. Okay, so Queen b6, Knight b3,
I was out of book
e6.
here after Knight B3.
Uh huh.
I looked at the critical line, like Bishop B3 is like the one to really look at, I think, right?
Yeah, I think Bishop e3 is definitely the most logical move, and I would say Bishop f4 is maybe the most ambitious. Just hitting this pawn.
Mhm. Oh, I mean like before Queen B6 and then Bishop B3.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a move here as well.
So this is like the only line I studied at the time because it was like sure other moves might be scarier or scary, but I felt like I have to know what to do here because you're supposed
Yeah,
to take the pawn.
yeah. If you have to take the pawn, right, that's not something you want to just walk
Do
into
yeah,
for
because
sure.
there's so many crazy lines where you allow the fork on C7 and you just don't care. Like knight
Yeah, I think
DB5 is the
I
move,
think
right? And then
David
queen
was
B4.
mentioning this one is quite dangerous, but that black
Yeah, queen
is
B4 is like
okay. Queen b4.
slightly better. and it's like slightly better for black. Like there's a funny line. I think it's like it's queen e2 because you need to defend the bishop. Um, and then I'm trying to remember. Um, it's this position. Is it this position? I always know that there's like issues with a6. So a6 here is like a mistake
Mm-hmm.
because of rook b1, queen a5, bishop to b6. But there's just a ton of positions like this that are like kind of crazy. And this shows up in other variations too. But it's like just remembering what to do in these lines. So I was like kind of okay.
So what does black do here?
I'm trying to remember. Because I didn't look at this since like I looked at it right before the tournament, and then like I just haven't reviewed it since. Um, because like I just like I'll review it before my next tournament too. But
Yeah, this would definitely be one where you don't want to get caught out. At a quick glance, it feels like knight takes e4 might be
yeah, it's knight takes e4. Yeah, you're right.
well,
I was
which
just
I mean, looking at the position is something I feel like let's say you
I
have
can
this
come
in
to
a
that
game, right?
conclusion. Yeah,
It seems like that's pretty findable,
yeah, because rook b1, knight takes e3,
right?
and then here I think there if bishop takes f7, you just go king d8. Um, you're not really scared here because then there's issues on the c3 square. And then if instead um, is it? I think it's cat. No, is it castles or is it rook to b1 now? No, 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 it's not rook to b1 because knight takes c3. Uh,
Well, knight c7 is just bad, right? Because
yeah, you just queen c3 after,
you're taking the rook with check. Usually
and the knight's trapped. Yeah.
that's GG. Yeah. So and rook b1, knight c3. Yeah, looks.
Mm,
Let's see what else did white try.
maybe it's actually. I know there's some queen f3 in these areas. That you have to watch out for. But it's not here yet, I think, because of queen takes c4. I'm trying to.
C4 looks pretty good.
Mm, I gotta remember. I gotta look at it, I guess, after and review it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
there's
I
some
was
like
just
there's some
curious
funny
because
lines where
it,
yeah, there's always like you have to play like eventually they take on f7, you take with your king, and then if they give you a check on c4, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. Is like bishop f7. Um, it depends on if they have like a or if they're castled or not yet. So here, if takes, uh,
yeah.
like if the queen is on a5 already, then they have this queen c4 move, and then you have to play e6, um, and
So
like
you're
king
saying
g8.
if white had played a3 or something, or
No, again, I'm kind of fuzzy in the position right now. Um,
yeah. But it seems like yeah maybe oh no, the bishop is hanging.
mm,
That's okay. You can
yeah,
take a
no,
look
yeah,
at it
it's
later.
not important.
Yeah, yeah. So knight b3, e6, and now he just castles. So yeah, usually what white is doing is getting this
Some
tempo
more.
back at some point with bishop e3, and then black puts the queen on c7, and you get this kind of Scheveningen position.
Mm.
That's very playable.
Yeah, I was expecting bishop e3 first.
Right.
Um, and queen c7. And like if knight b5, just queen b8. Not really scared of
Yeah,
that.
generally black is not really afraid of
Yeah,
this
exactly.
because you're always just playing a6 and
And
kicking
then
the
it's
knight
just like a
back.
waste of a move. It's like knight g5s when you're threatening, quote unquote, to take on f7, but then like h6, and it's like, do you move back and admit you waste time, or do
Right.
you go? You can't even go all in a position like this. There's nothing to go all in for. So
Yeah. So yeah, generally I would say maybe the most dangerous approach White has here is something like Queen E2
Hmm.
and then castling queenside.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Um, I
So
thought like maybe the bishop on c like this is one of the good parts about the position is the bishop on c4 might fall victim to a b5 in the future, like just like a tempo. Like I don't know, I'd probably play a6 here.
yeah, I think A6 is very logical.
I'd say the move I'd maybe be most worried about is a4, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Like knight e5, for example, looks pretty promising after a4.
Yeah, and A4 runs counter to what White's trying to do here, right? Because once
Mm.
White plays Queen E2, that's indicating that they're going to castle queenside.
Long. Yeah, yeah.
And so if they play A4, then that's a big commitment on the queen side. So probably these two moves wouldn't be connected. There are
Yeah,
cases where White does castle kingside in this position too, and then A4 actually is often seen there.
that's why like only in this position a6 a4 I'd be maybe concerned because maybe they still castle like short and then they go for a5 and try to take control of the b6 square. I don't think it's anything because knight d7 is always a move, but
Yeah,
those are always things I like want to make sure I'm not like losing to. That's
kind of a yeah a slow plan. But yeah, this is a position I would kind of maybe mark as something you were mentioning, I think before we were streaming about like your sparring sessions.
all.
This is definitely a position I would try to play a couple times because I think it could be really useful. Um, and yeah, so okay, castles, bishop e7, a4, and queen c7. Do you consider anything else here?
Um, I think I considered casting. I just like I thought it might be productive to not allow bishop e3 with tempo. Um, but I don't want to play something like a6 in this position because now it's justified, I think, to play a5, stuff like that. Um, maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I mean a6 definitely is a move to consider. I would say always.
okay.
Because at some point you're going to want to control this b5 square. You don't want knight b5 hanging over your head,
Yeah.
for the whole game. Um, so, yeah, to me, I would honestly start with this one. And then if white wants to commit with a5 or they want to commit with bishop e3, okay, then you can put your queen, on the most natural square.
For me, it's like I what I was thinking is where do I want my bishop to? And whenever a6 and a5, I want my bishop on b7 in these lines, I think. Like it feels like the most natural square, and whenever a5 is played, you can't really put the bishop on b7 without just like, you know, trading a for b, which isn't it doesn't feel right.
You can
Um,
actually make this trade in a lot of positions.
really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's just like your bishop on b7 holds a6 very nicely. You always have counterplay, kind of like Benko style, on the open files. And
Mm.
honestly, it's yeah, hard for white to get much. But let's just put like, for example, let's say white plays a5 here. We go queen c7, bishop
Mhm.
e3.
Maybe knight d7 then.
Yeah, knight d7. Knight e5 is also an option.
Oh, true. I'd probably
Very.
play it like KG with knight d7 personally, like if I were in a game. That's just like I'm just trying to guess what I would play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. But I mean, this one is kind of like
It's
this one
easy to
is
play.
very ambitious because the idea here would actually be to like you know, win the
Mhm.
strategic battle.
Oh, I think it's probably going to be a better move. Uh, yeah, I don't know why. Like for knight c7, it's just like one of those instinct things because I really like. I'm less. I'm more concerned about the play they get. Like I think just in general, like
Hmm.
I'm always more concerned about what my opponent gets than what I get. So for me, it's hard to play a move like knight e5.
Yeah, I mean, It's it's not like the cleanest move. You're moving a piece like for the second time.
Mhm.
But of course, like these positions are very concrete, and one tempo can change everything. Whether you get
Yeah.
like totally squeezed or you actually get decent counterplay. Because with knight d7, the risk is, white will always have some kind of knight a4 to try and clamp down
Ooh,
anyway.
yeah.
Um, so
Knight takes a5 doesn't work. No, it doesn't work because you can take knight b6 now.
knight b6 at the end, yeah, looks pretty bad.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, you have to be careful here. I mean, I speak from experience. I've been I've definitely lost these kinds of positions many
Yeah,
times.
like your like the one where it transposed into Maroxy, which
Um,
the Rook
yeah,
A2 that I told you about.
Rook
I was so
a2, right?
proud of
I've had
myself
two games
analyzing
like
that.
that actually.
Yeah. Was it against the same opponent or was it
No, no, different players. One
okay?
against like really strong IM, Guillermo, and one against like Master like 2200.
Because
Um,
I remember the one video you did, I think you lost that game, unfortunately.
mhm.
It was the most recent time that happened. But when I was in that position in the other game, if we ever get the time for that, then I literally was analyzing that specific type of like idea in that position. And it was
Oh,
like I
you
was
used
so
the
proud
same
of myself.
idea.
I was no, I
Oh,
wanted
nice.
to. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
show up in the game because like it was a position where they had to play knight c4, but they never did. And like
Okay.
bishop takes c4, takes c4, and then like rook a2. Um, but it's not important.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'll go look at it. So yeah, 95. I mean,
It looks
this
much better.
to me. So yeah, this is the instinct move because it's of course very active,
Mhm.
um, and of
I
course you
think
always have to be careful. They like queen doesn't
F4
get
is not.
trapped with something like this and like rook a4. But looks like we're fine, right? Like no
Knight
problems.
b4, queen b7, right?
Yeah, yeah, like one square every time, but that's all.
That's
That's
all you
all you
need.
need. So let's say bishop e2, and then the idea would be knight c4 to cover b6 and hit everything. And okay, white could play bishop c1, but usually the critical thing would be to just give the bishop for the tempo.
Yeah, bishop c1 feels like soft because you're just like losing control of that b6 here.
Yeah, and sometimes there are issues. Like actually, for example, let's check this move.
Um, what's the point after e5?
Well, white wants to go rook a4.
Oh, you can just take on d6 after e5 though, right?
And also take on d6. Oh, sorry, e5. Yeah, you wanted queen e6. Yeah, yeah. So it takes on d6.
What about knight takes e4?
So that I think that looks
Well, you could probably
critical.
take on d6 at the end, like takes and knight bishop, because rook a4 won't work or knight c3, right?
Yeah, rook
Um,
a4, knight
it's knight
c3
c3.
looks okay for black.
Yeah,
So
but
let's say,
takes and takes on d6, queen takes d6. That looks pretty sus. That doesn't look great.
yeah, if black is not castling here,
I mean, queen c6, king takes, and then rook d8, king f8, artificial casting. But you have queen g4 always, right?
yeah, I would be, yeah, very, I think, unhappy
Six queen g4 or
about
something.
this as black, right?
Well, I don't know if queen g4 is the move, but yeah, this looks really gross.
No, no, it seems like there's even options. There's like knight d4, there's rook e1.
Mhm.
Like, it seems like white is just, yeah,
Feels
at
wrong.
least some initiative. Yeah, 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 at the very least. So this might not even be good for black, because that's a pretty forcing line. But this is the kind of stuff you have to be extremely careful about in the position.
Yeah, I'd collapse if I saw that move. Like I'd see the threat because obviously, like if someone plays something like this, it's like it's one move. Calculate one move. Do take c5 rook a4. It's not, but
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, if your opponent just like hangs a piece, they must have some some idea. Um, so let's see. It's also possible to play um, a different move here. For example, bishop d7 is legal with the idea that we're still playing knight c4. So you can give white this
Covering
tempo,
a4,
but
that's
queen
fine.
c8 and knight c4 is still kind of an idea. But
And now there's no bishop c5.
yeah, and then the bishop is covering your a4 square, so which is very important. And I mean, it's not super clear to me. Let's say queen d4, and then white wants to play f4. So black can definitely feel a little squeezed here.
Maybe now it's okay to play bishop c6, knight d7. That feels
Yeah, so
wrong.
this is definitely very natural. I would say like f4, knight d7.
I guess you
And
might have like e5 in time.
e5 seems like right a problem. But let's see. Take, take, knight d5.
And bishop to... Like it feels like there's so much initiative because if you castle and it's just like your king's like there's no pieces around it, right?
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure how much of an attack white has, but I do feel like we are getting kind of squeezed.
Uh-huh. Even c5 is not stupid, right?
Yeah, maybe c5.
I mean, I wouldn't like to lock the what light square
Just
bishop out of the game because that's the
bring the
only reason
rook
I wouldn't
in.
play it. I like queen f2.
Yeah, queen f4 also.
Well, actually, queen f2. There's queen f4 is better, right? Because 95.
85. Yeah, we don't want to allow
But
as white.
what I want to do is like I wouldn't know what to do against queen f4, like maybe castles, and then like bishop d4, c5, and then just take over the dark squares and just like go knight d2, c4, d6. How do you stop it?
Yeah, I mean, okay, knight gets to d6. It's yeah, pretty bad, right? So I don't
And
know.
I
I
don't know how
mean,
to stop it here.
it's kind of feels like black is not really in time here to get what we want. Um,
Sorry, my cat's like going
oh yeah, yeah,
crazy.
no
I'm gonna
problem.
let him
Mhm.
out. Here you go.
So so yeah, actually, I'm not really sure anymore if a6 is so good here because it just feels
Yeah,
like
I calculated all that, obviously.
now I don't know. It'd be good to maybe computer check this later, but
Mm.
I think it's useful just to get a sense of what some of the human ideas are first, and then kind of you can
Yeah,
analyze them.
I'm always scared of this a5, like
Yeah.
because I'm just so used to going for like even I'm kind of scared of a4s. Like I'm just it's like what does black do? I guess maybe go for the d5 break, but like in
Well,
the
no,
future.
I would say the main plan is like you get the rook to the c file. You get to try to play for like knight e5, knight c4.
Okay,
And yeah, you always have pawn breaks if you need them, like a6 b5 or a6 b6.
okay. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know, like whenever I go for that a6 b5 stuff, I just feel like I don't do it correctly whenever a4 or a5's been played.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, I really hate having just like an isolated pawn on the queen side. Like, unless it's like, if it's like opposite castling, then yeah, I don't care. Like, whatever, isolate. Because then it's like you just attack with it. But here,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
just
I
gotta
thought,
believe in the long-term potential of the Sicilian. Your structure is really like a beautiful thing.
mhm. For me, it's like if I like, let's just say we trade off the a pawns in this type of position. It's like I get very uncomfortable, I guess, because it's like I thought the queen siders or black's supposed to be better,
Mhm.
but then they go like a5, they cover the b6 square, and it's like this doesn't feel like it's better.
Well, yeah, I
So,
mean, No, I mean it's definitely not that simple. I think there are many cases where white gets pressure on the queen side, and
Mm.
it's up to black to neutralize it or get king side play.
We could probably
Um,
do a whole lesson on just that
I
specific.
mean,
All right.
there's yeah, I mean there's so many games to look at in the Sicilian. It's really just one of the absolute richest opening, and this is just one structure within the
Yeah.
Sicilian. So okay, maybe bishop d7 here, just to kind of again force white to take this tempo if they want it. So let's say a5, queen c7, and we want to play either knight b4 here or knight e5. Of course, we can castle. We're not really afraid of
I'd
anything.
I'd want a castle and then I don't know. I don't know what the plan would be after that. I guess like bishop e3 castles. I just feel like the bishop on d7 is misplaced, like in all these lines. Like I'm sure there's still things you can do with it, right? But that's just like my intuition about it. Is I
Bishop
just
on
really
d7.
yeah, it always feels misplaced
Well,
to
yeah,
me.
the plan is to always try to get it to c6
G6.
for sure. But yeah, of course, you need to figure out where the knight goes, like knight e5, knight c4, or sometimes the knight parks on b4 is actually very strong there, and then the bishop goes to c6. There's no rook a4 to attack the knight. There's no pawn push, and
Mhm.
then you play for d5. That becomes the big plan. Maybe this would be an interesting move to look at. A6. What would you do here?
I wouldn't take it. I'd play b6 probably.
Okay, well b6. Let's say knight b5. Now I feel like
Queen
maybe
b8.
white could try to play for this bind.
Um, maybe queen b8.
Say
If bishop f4, just e5, bishop e6 probably.
bishop f4, e5, then bishop g5. I think you have to be.
And bishop e6, and I guess you're just not worried as white because you just like you still get the d5 square right with taking on f6.
Yeah, like right. Why would just play for the light squares here? Maybe queen e2 if this is possible.
So you'd have to play knight e5 instead of
Right.
e5.
So I would say in most cases this bishop f4 should be met with knight e5. Unless bishop takes e5, wins the game for white. Yeah, you usually want to put the knight here.
Okay.
And
Well, I
there are
guess
cases sometimes there's tactics like takes and the bishop on d7 is hanging or something. So of course you have to be careful. But yeah, as long as everything is defended.
is e4 ever hanging in that line, by the way? E5, bishop g5, knight e4. I guess there's always at least
Oh
bishop takes f7, queen d5 check,
well,
right?
let's make sure. Um,
Knight takes e4, bishop takes f7 at the very least, right?
yeah, bishop
But then
f7.
g5's hanging, right? So that's an issue because you always can maybe take back with the knight and then d5's covered.
Yeah, this one is still hanging. So
You take on e7 and maybe
taking
just
on
knight takes.
e7 first, or
I don't know if knight takes
knight
works.
takes.
Because now there's no trickies, right? Oh, yeah. Wait, f3?
Yeah, for example, f3 for
Anyway,
sure.
so we're getting lost, and let's continue. Go on.
No, no, I mean it's dangerous. So
Mhm,
yeah, if 95 is playable, you play 95 pretty much.
mhm.
Because you just don't want to, like white put this bishop on c4. Long term, of course, black is always trying to just keep this as solid as possible to
Yeah.
just kind of show that the bishop is bad. So here, yeah, 95, let's say bishop e2.
Um, it looks stupid, but I kind of not immediately, but like let's just say castles.
Castles. Yeah, I mean, there's also knight takes e4 here, actually, again, which is
Bishop
kind of
f3.
is kind of possible. Yeah, bishop f3, but
Oh, there's
then
not like knight takes f3, right?
yeah, this one's hanging.
Oh, true. I was worried about like some sort of like I thought for like half a second d5 was worse, and then like
Uh,
that looked really sketchy.
Maybe
But
takes bishop f3.
mm, takes b5.
Yeah, takes this one.
Takes, and then you just castle here.
Castles. But then white's moving the rook, and
And the rook's still trapped, right? Mm.
yeah. Um, if takes, there's this very annoying check, I think, which
Yeah,
kind of
that's what I was reading.
yeah. So I'm not sure. Um, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, black is okay after bishop c6, but it's
That's super sketchy, like rook
not.
e1 and
Yeah, it's
stuff.
like rook e1. Definitely very scary. So
Mm.
okay. What if we did just take on a6, and then black's next move is knight b4 on whatever takes this pawn.
That looks better.
Yeah, right. Aren't you like much happier here? Like, let's say bishop takes,
Mm.
knight b4, bishop e2, and castles. And
Yeah,
then you have
that's
like, okay, very
this looks
clear.
like no, this looks like just like black's for choice, right?
Yeah, honestly, I would probably take black in this. I mean, it's probably objectively equal if I had to guess, but I don't know. I've always liked black in these positions. I think, I
Mm.
mean, I guess, the way I feel about the Sicilian is like white gets the initiative from the opening. They get a lead in development. They can choose, what line they want to play. But if they don't go for some killer kingside attack, eventually black always kind of starts to strategically take over. So, yeah, basically, if I'm not getting mated in the Sicilian, I'm happy. That's like,
Do you think that maybe my move Queen C7 was soft? If we go back to the game.
yeah. So, I mean, I think it's
I
probably fine.
Okay, because I was
It feels
operating on the
very
same premise
similar.
of like I wasn't scared of knight b5. That was my thought process in the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think you should be scared of this one.
yeah, then it's like it just like saves against the tempo, but maybe it's not important to. I just thought my queen is better placed on c7.
No, no, I think Queen C7 is very logical for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm really not sure, what move is best here. I wouldn't be surprised if you have multiple decent moves. But I don't know. I just think the ideas are very, very interesting.
Mm. It was funny because I didn't get to castle, even though
Right.
I
So yeah, so knight b5. Okay, queen goes to b8. I think that's normal. Rook
mm,
e1.
should be 7.
Um,
I don't know if
bishop
bishop.
d7. Now, usually you do want to play a6 because like can't
I
really tolerate the knight on b5 for very long.
Yeah, because I was like d6 issues, right? I thought I would just like leave it for an extra move and maybe just like moves back and just wastes time. I thought I could play bishop d7 and then next move I'm gonna play a6.
Hmm. Well, let's see. So bishop d7. Okay, white played here. Knight e5. Bishop f1. Here. 3 e6.
B6, I think bishop c6 wasn't great because like they always have knight d4 tempo and I want to keep that light square bishop, so I'm just not sure what to do because if I could play b6 in this position and then bishop b7 at the same time or something, then I feel like there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong. But the issue is if I go bishop b7 here, then that
Oh.
check is really annoying, right?
So you just kind of got caught up with the tempos here because right, if you just
Mm.
had like one move extra, then you're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Bishop b7. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I
Actually,
see.
like I'm pretty sure I calculated that, and after bishop to b5, I think I was just planning a6, and I think yeah 95 d4, bishop d7, bishop b5, and I just saw like I have a6, and I didn't see anything immediately wrong because takes, and then I just take with like the knight,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I didn't see anything wrong with my position. Like I'm ready to play queen c7, and then like I don't know, this looks fine. I don't think it was maybe correct, but. Especially the way they handled it. Maybe I'm wrong,
But
but
yeah, it feels like I don't know. It feels like we lost some time. Like
I
I'm
think
really not
maybe
sure
in like
why
D4
b6 was
immediately.
necessary here.
I was I wanted to play A6, but again I was scared of A5. So I wanted to play B6 and then A6, so if they play A5, I always have B5 at the very least.
But why not like just castle, for example?
That's probably what I should have done.
Okay.
I'm not saying I was right. I'm just saying that was my idea.
No, no, but I'm asking like what was like did you consider this move or was there something you rejected about it?
um, well, I think like knight d4 kind of invalidates bishop c6 because I'm keeping that bishop. So if I go back, then why did I play bishop to c6? Because I never
So
got the a6
to this one?
tempo.
Mm-hmm.
And like, why did I play bishop c6 if I know I'm gonna keep the bishop? 'Cause, like, maybe it's not correct to play bishop d7, but I know I would play bishop d7. I know I would.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
that's why I think bishop c6 was wrong.
I see. But I mean, even here, I would say it's not such a problem for you because white also wasted time with the knight, and your bishop's still fine on d7.
Yeah.
Like you still have your
Well,
plan
like,
like rook c8, queen c7.
okay. I just like but I let them get back in the game because knight d4 it feels better than b5 after my knight's on e5 to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in this position, like if I play bishop c6 and allow knight d4 with tempo, they're getting to a more productive square with tempo. So why did I do that when I should be the one winning tempos here?
Yeah, well, right. I mean, here bishop c6 definitely doesn't feel needed either. Like you could have
Mhm.
castled here probably as well.
Yeah.
Um, so, and maybe this one is even more flexible because in some cases, you're just going rook c8, knight
Or yeah.
c4. Bishop just stays on d7 for some time,
Mhm.
and then comes out later. Um, so yeah, this kind of looks better, right? I mean, it's not so clear what White's plan is. Like in the game, you kind of gave him a plan, like f3, I guess, target your bishop. Um,
I was kind of happy to see f3. Maybe that's the wrong approach, but
no, definitely you
I'm
should be.
always scared of f4 in these positions, not f3.
Right. F3 is only dangerous if it's combined with queenside castling. If White
Like
is
English
castling
attacks, right? Like,
kingside, then it's only F4 we're worried about. Because otherwise, we have to get the E5 square.
mhm.
Yeah, you're golden. Um, so this looks nice. I mean, I don't know. Let's say A5 looks natural. But
Yeah,
A6 is
rook
not really a
f8.
threat, right? Because we're just taking.
Yeah, yeah, that loses, right?
So
Rook FC8 probably.
let's say Rook C8. Yeah.
Yeah, only rook really. Uh, and then I don't know what white does. Obviously not a6. Um, Queen d2 feels wrong because knight c4 tempo. I'm not sure what white does here productively.
Well,
Like,
D6 is hanging, so maybe Queen D2 is playable.
oh right, okay.
So Knight
But then
C4 would have.
a6 and then we do that,
But
and then knight
then,
c4,
yeah, then A6 is kind of useful, yeah?
and then knight back, knight c4.
See, I mean, Knight A3 looks very ugly. Knight C3 is just kind of, I mean, yeah, it feels like Knight D4, right? And then Knight C4 takes.
And we're already threatening e5. Actually, we're not because knight f. No, knight f5 we can take it.
Yeah, yeah, E5 is a threat.
Wait, no, knight up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I literally just said that. Oops. Okay. And
Yeah,
then
I
like,
don't see any huge, Knight is actually very far away from
yeah, black
B6.
just looks better.
Looks nice. Looks very nice for black. I mean,
Mm.
actually, I don't know what. So, like in the past, the engine would be like, oh, 0.2 for black, and you feel like, wow, this looks like, it's much better. I don't know. I think, yeah, it seems like black is clearly better.
Like, yeah, if I got this in the game, I'd be very, very happy.
So, um,
So, yeah,
yeah.
b6, bishop d7, bishop
So
e5.
now this check is annoying. So you have to go back this way,
Mm.
and yeah, you don't really want to give up this bishop. So bishop
So
b5.
here I just like calculated and I didn't see anything wrong with my position after this. And there's like this funny move that you'll see. So bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes e5. I was looking at knight takes e5 for the longest time. But I'm pretty sure there's actually just strategic, like there's issues with that move because of f4. and then knight c4, um, and then I think it's knight c6, and then there's always this like queen d4 stuff in the air. So
Yeah.
like even like queen c7 takes and then queen d4. Like I don't know how you take. Do you, like I was looking at taking with the king here.
Yeah.
Um and I wouldn't be worried if they just like defended their pawn somehow. And if f5 I just leave my king in the center, go like h6 maybe. Um yeah, like I think queen d4 is actually a bit problematic. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong,
Kind of
but
annoying.
because there's like, do I want to play e5? Probably not, right?
Yeah. The problem with e5, I mean, I'm
Maybe
not
queen
sure, but
f2. I like queen f2
maybe. But even if you
because
just take, and let's say knight takes, um, you're still going to have issues on the f file, and then this knight always tries to get in like knight d4, knight f5.
yeah,
So
like I just saw this position. I thought it was just like completely wrong, but I saw this funny move that you saw in the game. Um,
wait, so with f4, you can also go knight g6 here. Like this might be a little bit more solid.
for me, it was like if I'm gonna play something like this and allow knight c6, queen c7, take on e7, like I just was not happy
You wouldn't be
with
happy
this.
here?
When I calculated and visualized this position, I don't think I was happy. Looking at it now, probably like you can castle and play d5 comfortably, right? Um, but yeah, in my head, I wasn't happy with these lines. If we go back,
Yeah.
f4, knight g6,
Well,
um,
here's where you would have to make the decision.
yeah, that's where I did. Um, actually, that's where I did around a6 or like a little bit before that. So I was calculating
Oh, I see.
like
Okay.
even earlier, and then I just like when he took on e5, I just like double checked everything because I'm not gonna.
Now, this is the other thing with a6 is like you also could have castled here, right?
Mhm. Um,
Or is there some tactic or something?
I don't think there's any tactical
Like
issues.
is this something takes and then takes here?
It takes an e6, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think it was just like more of like I don't think I saw this, but I think my idea was to cover more light squares because I thought that was going to be necessary. Again, I don't know if I was correct by that assessment. Like,
Well, to me, this is more of a decision you would make with just concrete calculation.
yeah, and I calculated that like I didn't see anything wrong after the game variation, which I thought was necessary, like kind of forced.
Okay, well that's fine.
Like
Um,
I thought like worst case scenario, I'm like slightly worse, but there's no way I couldn't hold this endgame after queen d6. I felt like this is very holdable because after a6, I saw this knight b8. Like I saw it before because knight
yeah,
b8 is
yeah,
like the
yeah.
one like
So,
takes
well,
one.
let's get this to this position. So queen d6. This is all seems kind of forced, yeah. Like,
Mm,
I mean, otherwise, white doesn't really have much.
anything.
It seems.
Mm.
So takes.
I was looking at maybe queen c7, but I just didn't see a point. Queen d6 forces a queen trade. Like you have to trade queens.
Right.
And the reason why, like, I was looking at queen c7 or queen d6, and the only thing like is if I didn't see this knight b8, I would have probably played queen c7 and just like taken with the king and rook 8, like ht8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and like I don't see any breakthroughs. Maybe f4 is a little scary at some point, but I didn't see anything like it doesn't look like black's like losing yet. There might be like black might be worse, but this looks like a practical like it's gonna be I couldn't see anything from before to break this. So,
Yeah. No,
um,
I mean, I'm not. I'm not sure black is even worse.
yeah.
Because Yeah,
Yeah.
the structure is just very nice in the center. Like you just
Yeah,
cover all
like,
these squares.
and then like F4s, it takes so long to make that work, and that's like the only idea I see that would scare me in this position, but it's just not possible.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's see. So, so
knight
yeah, the
b
middle game I think is not so bad. It kind of depends on
mhm.
um what happens in this end game. So bishop c7.
Yeah, and I saw that he's one tempo too slow to like be winning because knight b8, rook d2, knight b8 is just like
So
it just holds
here,
everything.
here, right.
Everything like I'm just in time to everything's fine. If I didn't have knight b8, then I would be much worse. But like here, I
So
can play
if
like if knight
white
b4,
takes,
then
rook
just like
takes, right?
rook, yeah,
Rook d1,
and like rook d8.
rook d8.
It's passive, but it's like there's no like I trade off one of the rooks. Like yeah, bishop takes. The thing is, I was always thinking about some a5, but I don't like if he switches to the like rook a1 or something like a5 takes and then rook a1, then I probably should be fine.
Well, let's
Like
take a look. Let's say a5 takes rook
that's if I have to
d6.
take two, right?
hmm
Rook d6 is what's wrong with a4?
No, I mean could be all right. Let's say knight d2.
Because yeah, knight c5, bishop e7, right? And you take with check, which is important because rook c6, there's bishop takes c5 check and then king d7. Um, yeah, and then like a5, and or yeah, a5 and then like king e7 here or something, and then like or even like the thing is I'm up a pawn, so they're trying to win back a pawn. Like sure the a and b pawns are a little scary, but I just didn't see anything like immediate in these lines when I calculated. So maybe there is something deep, but from what I calculated, I didn't see anything.
Um,
Even if it's worse, it's just like feels like it's holding.
yeah, actually, let's see. So on e5, maybe you can also not take, right? You were saying?
Yeah, maybe just king e7,
Yeah, which actually makes a lot of sense.
which is probably what I would have played in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just know I calculated like I saw a5, but they didn't even play it, so it doesn't.
Let's say rook a1. So
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
then
get a sense of whether it's really all that comfortable for black. Because honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, like,
hmm,
I could see just being slightly worse here, or if you don't
bishop
quite
c7
quite get out.
because the issue is you ever take on b6, I take back with check, and then rook a8 holds
Yeah. So
everything.
let's say like king f1, to that idea.
Then like if I want to get spoiled, I would always look at b5. I don't see the point after like knight c5s though.
No, why not?
B5, knight
It's
c5,
like
rook
rook
a8.
a8, and then you're gonna kick the
Just
knight.
bishop d okay.
Because yeah, of course we definitely want this structure as black.
Mhm.
Here is
Yeah,
where
yeah, I
the
just
isolated a pawn does become a pretty a pain if that happens.
mhm. Okay.
Oh, Cabbage is pointing at bishop d6 is
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
also good. Yeah, 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 very nice. So yeah, okay. Seems like you're
Wait,
pretty much fine here.
is it stupid? Wait. Okay, no, there's no c4 because you can take c4. I was wondering if it was like if there might be some crazy lines with like bishop d6 knight takes
Oh, I
a6,
see.
rook a8, c4. And if you take on a6, then it's like taking on b5. That looks really scary, but it doesn't work because you can just take on c4 first.
Even those two pawns, like the bishop actually stops them like
Mhm.
very very easily, I think. So it'll be fine. But yeah, we just take. So
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's
yeah,
not
it
what
seems
happened in the
like this
game,
is
but it was
yeah,
like
okay
I
for
just
black.
wasn't worried if like knight takes b8. It just like that knight was so much more active. It like took a lot of tempi. Obviously, I think tempi
Right, so white
tech
goes knight
like
b4. Yeah, which
yeah.
is logical as well. I'm trying to
And
think
I
if
was
there's any.
looking at a5
Yeah,
there, but I
yeah,
didn't.
a5 here also, right? Would be an idea.
Oh, I meant knight b8 knight b4 and then a5 for me.
Oh,
Um,
so here, here,
and
here. So you
then
played
knight
king
b8.
e7, which
Yeah, I was looking at a5 for a little bit.
looks like
I
okay.
just didn't see the
Yeah,
point in playing a5 when I didn't need to. Like I don't need to. I can just play king e7 and I'm fine. But
gotcha.
it's worth
Yeah, yeah.
considering.
So king e7, here, here, takes, takes.
And it's like I'm a little passive, but it's like I don't see any breakthroughs. So
Yeah.
because eventually I'm just gonna play like eventually I'll play a5 and I'll play bishop c7, knight c6, rook d8, and it's like, what do you have?
Mm. Wait, your next move is a5?
Potentially. Like it might be a mixture of like it might be bishop c7 first, or it might be a5 first. But maybe one of those two moves, like bishop c7 and then wait for white to do something and then a5. The thing I was worried about with a5 is if they can get a knight to like b5 or something, or like if they can make use of that. I just didn't see anything concrete because it's like I feel like pieces are too reduced. My king's too close to that side of the board too. So
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't.
a little passive, but yeah, if you can get
Yeah,
everything out, then you're happy. What about let's try c4 for white.
yeah, bishop c7 first for sure.
Let's say king f1
a5, kind of a
this way.
tricky move here. Or yeah, knight c6,
Let's put here.
knight a3. Yeah. So actually, what I was looking at in positions like this was, do I really need to play knight a7? Is that like if I just play rook d8 here, right?
Hmm.
I guess you might be able to play rook c1. Maybe there's something there
Rook c1 is definitely a big candidate move to keep the rooks on the board for sure.
because you also covered d2, so you're not really worried about counterplay. Um, I felt
I mean,
like
there
if I
is
need to
rook
play,
d3, which is actually kind of annoying.
oh, for black.
Yeah, if white goes rook c1.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Because
know,
you don't
kind of.
never want to go like rook c3 or something.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I don't know. I think if the rooks come off, it feels like black is
Fine,
pretty much
right?
okay. Yeah.
Like I have the weak square on b5, but like it just feels like there's no way to break through at all.
Yeah, I feel like your king's close enough. You can put your bishop on c5. Um,
That's
I
why
I
I
would think you're okay. Yeah.
that's why after a6 I just evaluated this as equal because of knight b8.
Yeah, I mean, still not sure if I would have done the same
Okay.
because, well, I guess for me,
I know that I think knight takes e5. I'm pretty sure the engine doesn't like it. Knight takes e5 after bishop takes. I'm pretty sure it does want pawn takes.
oh, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. What I'm trying to say is like, I
Uh,
feel like white didn't really play this so great,
well,
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
rook e1, bishop f1.
I didn't feel challenged. Like in the end game, sure, it was like I'm, especially at the start of that ending with knight b8, I'm the one playing for the whole, like holding it.
Right.
But
Yeah, I feel like black should be playing for more from here, which is why.
yeah,
But okay, we already identified bishop c6. This was kind of the culprit, right? If you just castle rook c8,
uh,
we like black's position there.
yeah, yeah.
So so that makes sense. Um, then yeah, b6 I
I don't
guess
like
was
b6.
logical, but already okay. You're
I don't
already
like.
on this path with bishop c6.
Mhm.
Um, here, here, here. Yeah, I mean 95. It should be said is a lot scarier actually, because well, if you yeah, miss something, then you could end up in trouble with queens on the board. The position is sharper, whereas the endgame is kind of safer for you because strategically you're doing fine. Your king is closer, like you got these nice pawns in the center. You
And
have
like
like the c
again,
file.
like the only move not to like lose here is knight b8. And like
So, yeah.
to me, that was like all that mattered is like, okay, then I trade at least one pair of rooks, and then like you can't really do anything with one rook on an open file because eventually I'll just bring my other one there, right?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully black is just in time, but
Mm.
yeah, for me there's some it's like something went wrong there because well, yeah, I wanted more from the position.
Yeah,
Um, but I
me
think
too.
it was okay. Bishop c6 and b6. I think this plan is basically
Wrong. I was going for a
that.
hedgehog. That
That's what
was
it
like,
feels like. Yeah.
but yeah, I was just wrong, right?
Well, it's just yeah something with the move order because I would say in most cases black is playing a6 before b6 in these positions. Um,
And
Now
again, like I was just so scared of this A5 stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean maybe that's something actually we could look at. So another way to play the position here actually, in many cases when white plays this like knight b5, queen b8, black's
mm,
next move is just a6 because it's just like okay, you have to kick the knight.
yeah,
So rook e1 actually here a6 definitely would have been my first candidate, and maybe we could just quickly look at it to see if this
okay.
because what does white do with the knight really? Knight d4 or
Well, yeah, I guess like knight d4, and we can't go b6 obviously because takes, and then if we take and go b6, that's still not really great because knight c6. But um, I don't know. Again, like I think that this was pretty similar position where you just castle. I think it was here where your castles,
actually
and
you
then
could get
for bishop
b6 if you
e7.
wanted with knight e5.
Oh,
Let's say bishop
wait,
f1.
sorry, but what if like b6 and then f4?
Well, f4, right, that would be the concrete issue.
That's
So it
what I
might
would
not
be
work.
scared of.
'Cause, yeah,
Yeah,
this I don't think we want knight c6 and
yeah, I would. Yeah,
with everything on the board. Although it might be fine actually, but probably a little dangerous. Okay, so well, knight e5 is definitely still a big candidate move. Bishop f1
hmm.
and well, let's just look at castles here. Let's say a5 and let's just say either b6 or b5. Let's say b5. So you were kind of worried about this structure, right?
I don't know why. This doesn't like in retrospect. This doesn't look so bad. Like even
Yeah, no,
bishop
I mean that's why I think it's very useful just to look at it, like away from the clock and the heat of
and
the
the
battle,
pressure.
because
Yeah,
then actually, yeah, it's just like okay, bishop e3. Let's say queen c7, whatever. Then you
knight
put the bishop on
b5.
b7.
Just for fun, you gotta play knight b5, but I don't think it's good.
Oh, there's
Well,
knight b5 again. Yeah, that's funny. Queen b8. You do the same. You do the same
maybe it's
thing.
not the worst thing in the world to reroute to c3 to cover d5, but um,
Knight
that's
on
wrong.
c3 is really not well placed,
Not
I
good.
think, because it's often just like a target on the c file. It's like you always have to watch out like for the exchange sack. And then there are many positions where white wants to go like c3 or c4, so the knight's kind of in the way. Maybe yeah, knight a5 here. I think makes sense. But actually e4 might be hanging, so maybe white owes us a tempo to defend this one. And then if f4, which I think is the move white often wants to play,
Now knight g4 maybe.
usually yeah, either knight g4 or knight c4. Actually, I'm
I'll
not
probably
sure which one.
well, I guess maybe the issue with knight g4 is maybe you actually just go back to like c1 for a move because then it's like h3 is gonna hurt. Maybe. Well,
Yeah, knight
e5.
g4, you have less of a less stability there, I would say.
E5 might be trouble though. If knight g4, bishop c1, e5,
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So this one, e5.
e5. Yeah, because then you control the dark squares just in time, right? And then now
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
actually
this is
black.
just like
There's no knight
very
f5,
annoying.
it's bishop f5.
Hmm.
Or queen b6.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, no,
no,
queen
this check
b6
is
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 wrong.
brutal.
Um,
Knight b5, queen b6. So these.
mm,
Um. Yeah, I think probably white would have to play like h3, and then you just start ripping open the king side.
uh, okay. Mm,
Okay, your structure is going to be ugly, but white's king is weak, and so you just have to
yeah.
find the activity here. Um,
Can we actually go over the could we zoom through the rest of like
yeah,
the
yeah.
end of this because I actually want to see if you think there were any other chances that I had.
For sure.
I was pushing the entire ending. Like, it was really annoying because I just couldn't get anything.
Yeah, I
Um,
know later it seemed like you managed to create a lot of winning chances. So yeah, I did want to look at that too.
I don't
So
know if I don't
knight
think I missed
d2,
anything like tactically,
e5.
but I don't know if you think there were better practical chances at some point. Mhm.
Like, yeah, you got out nicely, and now it definitely seems like black is the one kind of
B4 is
pushing here,
really strange
and
to me.
bishop is very very strong. Wow, king f1. Okay, so he wants to go to g2.
Mhm. I thought I was like close to winning here, but I just couldn't break through, no matter how
You
hard I tried.
did you think about king f? How much time do you have? Do you remember at this point? 37.
Um, I think I was getting lower on time. I know I started getting in time trouble. This is the only game I had time trouble
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine. What about king f4 here? Is this
in.
possible?
I thought that the issue was where was it? Let's see. What did I calculate after king f4? King. I think it was king g2, and then I think I just get booted out with like
Oh,
some
it's
knight
funny.
three at some
Yeah,
point.
knight f1, huh?
Um, and then you just get booted away with
Yeah, I
like knight h.
mean, like you're not getting mated here, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly. And I almost got mated on h4. I just calculated to make sure I didn't.
Right.
That's where most of my time went because like h4, like if his king has to go to g2 in that position, it feels like I'm so much more active. Um, that like I was really hoping for something, and I just again I couldn't see anything.
Yeah. Another move actually worth trying is h5,
Hmm.
because this really
That's counterintuitive.
puts the pressure on white to release the tension.
Hmm. For me, it was like I wanted to keep any way that like white released the tension before I thought favored me. So I thought like going king h4 and leaving the tension was like keeping more pawns to potentially win
But here you're forcing him
to like take, right?
to actually do something. Yeah.
Pawn takes h5.
So take. So then we have a real choice. You can take with the pawn, or you can take with the king, and then try to bring your
I thought maybe after king takes, king g2 is just enough to hold.
ace g2. Okay, let's see. So takes king g2.
Hmm.
Maybe
King h.
something like rook d7.
I don't hate rook a3 in that position, but I don't know if it does anything useful.
Okay, three also very possible. You know.
The
Um,
like their knights are really annoyingly covering everything. Knight f1, knight rook d1, right? So rook b2 probably, and then bishop e3, knight b3. The c1 knight to b3.
still rook d3, rook
Hmm.
c2.
Yeah, rook c2. Uh, now you can. Oh, maybe you can consider taking. No, well, no, because rook takes there's knight b4 obviously, but um, maybe you just like sit. What does white do in this position after king h4?
Yeah, very good question. Like, what's white's next move here, right? So king
I don't
h4.
I don't see
Maybe
it.
knight f1 is the only way to kind of untangle. No, but even there, that you have to be might be some knight b4.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, that's a good idea. H5. I didn't consider it.
well, I mean, it's these positions are always kind of like a matter of touch, because maybe engine says you're better or much better, but like
Mhm.
you still have to break through. There's also good suggestion to maybe just go gh5 and then try to go rook g7 and try to get in via the g file, rook g3, rook g1.
I thought
Um,
there's. Uh, I thought king takes might have been. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like pawn structure and that's it. Because I'm a one-note player. But pawn takes king g2 anyways.
yeah, let's say
And then
king
what does
f4.
one?
Or king h4 maybe.
Well, king h4 is like I guess the main. I guess this is the more critical, right? Because there's
Yeah,
not really net time for knight f1 now.
let's try this one.
But well, no, the other one might be more critical, like king f4,
Oh, the other one. Oh, okay.
because there's no knight f1 because
hmm
rook g8 now is you're just fast,
Yeah,
too fast,
and
right?
this one.
Oh yeah, yeah, you just drop a pawn too. Maybe takes.
Takes, let's throw in the check, because why not?
Yeah, it's a good move. King h2 probably takes back. The pawn
Yeah, now let's
probably.
take.
There was the move I was always scared of in these positions was c4, so maybe we should check that.
Sure, sure.
Um, well, actually, maybe that's just too. That's just not good because you just like,
Yeah, let's your knight in,
yeah,
which
exactly.
is, I mean, it feels very
Also,
close for black.
yeah,
Really,
knight
really close.
d4, c5. You just go bishop c7. You're just losing the pawn, right?
Okay, that's one possibility for sure. And you're saying there's no way to
Yeah, the pawn's just lost, right?
end this one. I mean, that definitely looks very promising. I would say start with this one as well, just to kind of get your knight out in front.
Is there now knight e2 check or knight d3 check?
Yeah, actually, you're right. That's annoying. Yeah, I
That's
don't want
kind
to
of
allow
like,
that.
yeah.
So we got to leave this square open.
Mm. That's why I thought knight d4 was
Yeah,
better.
then
Because
I
like I
okay, I
don't
like your knight d4 very much.
like they're never going to
Oh,
take on b5 because it's dumb, and if they play c5, bishop c7, like that pawn's going nowhere, and if f3
yeah.
drops, like the e pawn just wins. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I like this knight d4. Rook g1, I think c5 is probably an issue.
mm,
And who knows, maybe rook d1, but it's kind of
yeah,
maybe ends up similar. Oh, sorry, knight e2 check is okay.
yeah.
Even bigger issue. So, um, okay, well, yeah, clearly, like the end game has turned out very, very nicely for you. I would agree. B4 feels like a very weakening move.
Because that's their counterplay in this position is just to trade those pawns, right? And get a
Uh,
like a pass pawn on that
on
side.
the queen side, yeah, white should be trying right to, and
So my
maybe
king's
that
on
was
the
the
king
point,
side,
like
right?
B4 and trying to play for C4. But I don't know. I think if the
Is
position opens up, it's the bishop that really profits from that. So
mm,
that's the problem for white with this C4.
important. Yeah,
So
I
let's
just like
see. Hmm.
miscalculated because like this was like again the end of a very long day. I thought I was winning material around this point. I think I miscalculated winning material. Um,
Yeah, because you end up going back, huh? That's kind of uh,
mm,
not what we wanted.
yeah.
So were you worried about something here? Why not? Like, feels like Rook A1 would be the kind of most natural, you know.
I thought it might be like I thought Rook A7 was a flexible move because I don't think they're gonna go for C4. C4 felt wrong, like because I can just take on C4. Um, and I was potentially just like looking to play Rook D7. Like I was just keeping things open because I was low on time.
Okay, okay. Mhm.
Like Rook A1 is like, oh, maybe I get booted around with like Knight B3, Knight C5 or something. Maybe that's something. Like, do I want to calculate and find out, or do I want to just like play a move and not lose on time?
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, nice thing about Rook A1 is it's annoying for white because they have to
They can't move their E2 knight. I
deal
was
with this
looking at
rook.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I just like
here, let's
I
have a
was actually
look.
worried of like F4 possibilities there,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah.
Like so Rook A7 was like, okay, now I don't have to worry about F4 because I can just like I can also take on G4.
Yeah, actually, maybe this isn't such a big deal.
Yeah, but like I was always calculating that, so it's just like if I do anything with my rook, then I have to look at other threats as well as that threat. So I saw that threat and just like played a move and knew I was fine there. And it was almost getting mated like every move too.
So, oh, then we end up taking. Okay.
Yeah, to open up the F file. So this was kind of funny. So my idea was to get to G5. because e4 was weak in my opinion. Um,
But
Obviously the issue is I'm almost always getting mated, and then
yeah, really,
felt wrong, right? Like here,
yeah,
I was
like
like worried that they were gonna start pushing.
all the pieces feel very, very awkward here all of a
Yeah,
sudden. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, FE4. Now this one is, of course, a big decision from you because
yeah.
you're
I was
giving
trying
up
to simplify things
all the
because
tension.
of the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think this is a move you really just don't want to make unless you have to, because it
Yeah,
also
because
opens up the F3 square. That's like where you're getting
mm,
into all that trouble, right? Um, so I mean, if you want to threaten Rook F2, I mean, why not go Rook F7?
yeah, I probably should have.
I mean, okay, White still has Knight C5. They can take with the knight, but
Um,
I don't think Knight E6 is such a threat. I mean, you could consider Knight D8, but let's just say like I think H5 again would be the
yeah, because you taking on
the
e4 is
ambitious
much
move.
more important, right?
Right. And here actually we're threatening to take on G4 as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, White's king gets into a lot of trouble if a rook is allowed to F2, king H3. That seems super dangerous. So, okay, I
Mhm.
mean, clearly it was induced by the time trouble, but I mean, it's you will have to play out these endgames, on the increment. So it's like
Yeah, like
it is
honestly, I was
important how
happy
you
that like
approach them.
sure, like what I came from like from this tournament is like sure I may probably had winning chances or practically better tries. Is like I'm just happy that I didn't blunder anything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's still an accomplishment on in time pressure to like this is I could get mated in this type of position
Oh yeah.
for sure, like very
Yeah.
easily.
Definitely.
Um, so I was like, I don't know. I was not super upset with the draw because it's not like I'd probably deserve to win this game anyways.
No, I mean this is a really tough position to play. I think on the increment.
Hmm.
Um, but well, no, I mean I think you like overall you play the game really well. Uh, we're just looking for improvements wherever we
Yeah.
can find them. So yeah, this definitely is a moment where you could maybe reflect on
Good
and
tension.
really just try to like keep the
I was
tension
looking at
more.
knight d8. I
Mhm.
think there's something specific that I didn't like about it because I wanted to play knight d8 in a move before. I'm just trying to remember what I was worried about. Maybe I should have played it.
Yeah, I mean, I think something like this, or again, H5 to me feels very natural because if you're the one that wants white to take on F5, right, which sounds like, you do, then absolutely add more fuel to the fire. This is exactly in fact, I mean, this feels like the critical move every move, right? Like you need a reason
Yeah.
not to play this one.
It's just like I don't know why I didn't really consider it. I guess like I can't come up with like a good reason why it wasn't something that I played. Because looking back at it now, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is just like really good.
Yeah. After the game, it's always like, yeah, so clear. No, but I mean, that's fine. It's like you're definitely not going to see everything in the position. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's always super interesting to see how you could have maybe pushed further. And I'm sure the engine will find all kinds of stuff that, we're not seeing. The key is to like really understand what the engine is kind of, giving you. Um, but yeah, so we had this, Rook A2. I got to G5. I mean, still looks okay at this point, but then, right, we get kind of caught up in this.
Yeah, and
And,
then then I'm just fine. And he went for repetition, which I was super happy about, obviously.
oh,
Because
okay.
I
Hmm.
was worried he would go for like some, I don't know, something. Because this king's more active. My king's like out of the game. That's like one thing I knew that was potentially an issue in the future
Right.
is like if I bring my king to h4,
Yeah.
maybe he just like eventually sacrifices that side and just like plays c4 b5 or something and he just like wins. But
Yeah, I would say at this point, yeah. Third game, long day, right? Yeah, you could play on bishop f6, it seems, but yeah, I don't really blame you for just repeating once you feel like you're worse. I think it's probably a good practical decision.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, very interesting game overall. I mean, I feel like a lot of thematic ideas in this one, like through the opening and the end game as well. Um, so cool. So what have you been working on lately? You were telling me a little bit. I mean, you basically playing a lot of training games.
Yeah. Uh, I've been like I've been studying a new opening. Nobody can know though. There are some people that go to the tournaments I go to that watch the stream actually, so gotta keep up. I don't even care. I'm learning the semi-Slav. Um, well, I mean, like, doesn't matter. Like MVL, you know he's gonna play the Najdorf, but like if he just
Yeah, good
studies the
luck.
Najdorf, I'm not saying I'm Najdorf MVL, but you know what I mean. Like if I just study
Yeah.
the semi-Slav like enough, then it's like okay, you know my opening, but it's like get something against me.
No, I strongly believe like if it was actually this other trainer who put it really well. I think it was Grandmaster Grievous, who's like a really experienced trainer, and he was just saying like if you're playing solid openings, then you shouldn't be worried that tomorrow your opponent's gonna like refute your lines.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing something that's solid, then it shouldn't just be like refutable. And he said something like, you know, a fear of opening preparation is really just like you feeling insecure about your understanding of the opening. It's like you feel like you don't really understand the opening, so that's why you feel like, oh, you might get hit with like some crazy line, and then you're
Which
not
is the
gonna know
case,
what to
like,
do.
there's a lot of openings as white that I'm afraid of seeing. And there's
Right.
just too much to
No,
prepare for.
which I think is quite logical. I mean, you're like playing e4, and there's lots of sharp lines, and
Mhm,
yeah, you don't really know what you're doing there, right? So it's like, yeah, it's kind of a very natural fear to have.
mhm.
Um, but at the same time, like, yeah, if you're playing good stuff, then you don't need to like switch up your opening like every game or something, or just because you know someone saw you play this opening one time and now you can like never play it again.
Yeah, like, I I'm not at the level, and I probably and, like, I don't know. Uh, I don't know what, like, the level is, like, maybe let's just say magically I get to, like, international master or, like or something. It's like, even at that level, I feel like there's a lot of players that just play, like, one thing and they're fine. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be at the level of, like, 2,700 where I have to worry about, like, "Oh, I need, like, 3 openings to make sure, like, you know, I'm not having an MVL situation where it's like I get a Night every game, but it's like every time I'm getting novelties played against me and I'm suffering." Like, I'm never gonna be MVL, so I don't have to worry.
Yeah, and I mean, with these kinds of openings like Nightorf, I mean, they're so rich. You know,
Mhm.
like you can bounce around a lot in the Nightorf, and that's what many players do. In some positions, they play e6, and they play e5. They try
Yeah.
different setups, and you just kind of float around. And then what happens is you just get tons of experience in the opening and the structure, and you feel confident even if you get hit with something.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, do you wanna see that E5 position from the, it was the
yeah,
4th
which
game,
one? Which game?
game 4?
Sure.
It was kind of a fun one. So it was the last game. It was like, this weird opposite color bishop with rooks on the board, and it was like, I don't know how, but it was just like just kinda won it. It was kinda cool, but I I think yeah, the 2 games I played really well in were round 4 and round 1. Those, like, uh, yeah. You saw round 1, right? Bishop H6, rook E8,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then this game
They're
was
being very nice. Okay, so this is the
this is the rook A2 that I wanted to play.
round four game. Right, right, right.
Mhm.
Um,
Also, for everyone watching, watch, Kostya's videos on tournament games because there's so many ideas that I've learned from those videos. So gotta shout it out. I probably should have castled long anyways here.
Yeah,
Even
I
after A5.
mean, right. I was just thinking like this is really the whole point of white setup is to go queenside.
Yeah, I like the thing is I knew he was young and I knew like he was very tactical, so I thought like I'm okay with the positional game because I was actually he was late to the game, so it kind of like messed me up. So I was preparing a D4 opening against him. Because I saw he plays this line and it's not accurate and he plays it every single game. So I was gonna play that and then like he didn't show up to the board, so I just like played a move and I was like, "Oh wait, I just played E4." Like I was just like cursing myself.
Huh.
So, and because I knew he played dragon, and I like he's younger, and I don't want to go into a tactics game against the kid. I'll just like I'm not gonna like I don't know. For me, it was like uh I thought castling short was like maybe a concession, but I was happy. I thought I was still pleasantly better because we can just transpose into like Meroxys and stuff. I
But
don't think it was the right decision. I think casting long is better.
no, not really, because it's. I mean, yeah, with like bishop e3, you're in bishop c4, like queen d2, like you're already
Going
committing
for
to
the queen,
castling
yeah.
queenside, right? So it's like, if you want to play the safe and solid stuff, I don't blame you, but this is
Then
the
I should,
position where you have to make that decision,
yeah.
right? Before you enter the Yugoslav setup.
The reason why I changed opinions is because of A5, actually. That's why I decided to castle short. If he didn't play A5, then I probably would have castled long anyways.
Yeah,
But I
but I,
thought that
I don't
like
really see what this
I,
changes. I mean,
I don't know, like to me it was like, oh, like this feels out of place. Um in like Meroxy lines, like
but I
in
mean,
the
it's not
specific.
really Marazzi because you don't have c4 in.
Well, yeah, like the thing is I thought I was easily going to get C4 in these lines though. Cuz like what I was calculating after castling was this knight E5 and
Mm-hmm.
then rook FD1. So if he
He
went
goes
H5.
h5. Yeah, but let's say knight c4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knight C4 takes, rook takes, and then rook A2.
Okay.
And I don't see how he stops me getting from a Meroxy position. That's what I calculated when I castled short, before I did.
Sure, but let's just say like even if white does achieve b3 c4, it's not like that's necessarily so great.
Oh, okay.
Um, so let's
I just,
say
okay.
well let's just see.
Because I'm not sure what black does here to avoid it. Because I don't think it can be. Like, Queen C8 is the only candidate that might have, but I think, like, there were critical things wrong with it, so.
let's say black just drops back.
With rook C8.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so either knight E2 immediately, like knight D C E2, or B3, anyways. Sorry, I'm not seeing the position if you're playing moves.
Oh, didn't
There you go. Now it's showing. Okay.
oh, okay. You're on the analysis board, right?
Yeah. I am.
Okay,
Rook
good,
C8.
good. That's weird. So rook c8, yeah, knight e2, and
Obviously E5, like knight B5. That's really bad.
yeah, probably, yeah, yeah. Thinking like maybe we can do something d5 or something, but no, I don't think so.
Mhm.
So let's say bishop c6.
Yeah, then just like B3 or C4. I guess actually C4 might be
Maybe you
more
can
accurate.
go c4 right away
Yeah.
if you wanted. Um,
And I play a lot of Meroxys, so I was happy to do something like this if necessary.
yeah. I mean, this position I think is
Until
not
rook
like
B.
okay, it's playable. I don't think black is doing all that terribly here,
Actually,
but
funnily enough, I'm pretty sure after rook
okay.
A2, it's like really close to like it's like really bad.
You think so?
At least Compy said that. Computer hated it after rook A2, rook C8. It was like plus 1 or more than that at some point, like with a local engine.
Yeah, that okay. That's surprising for me. Maybe I'll take a look sometime. Because I don't know. It does feel like things aren't uh so bad for black, but Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Uh, but yeah, I really don't love the approach to go like,
Could go short castles.
f3, queen d2, bishop b3, because yeah, I mean the whole position is geared up for queenside castling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I don't know. I just tried to take an approach of like what I knew about these positions, and like I knew that in Roxy's you play f3 sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
Place.
yeah.
So like that again, that's why I went into it is because I knew those waters pretty well, and it was like a slow game. So I think yeah, I guess this was maybe one of those critical times where I didn't I don't know, even if casting long was best, maybe I would consider playing it now. I probably should, but um I was I
No,
would like
definitely. I mean, if you're playing like Open Sicilian, I mean, you really have
yeah.
to go for the critical lines. Because actually, I like what your opponent did more than just this immediate knight c4. Like he just plays h5, just
Mhm.
like yeah, not jumping in because it's still hard for white to play uh, c4.
Yeah, but then he made him he kind of blundered with h4.
Yeah, h4. I'm not sure why this is necessary. It's not like your knight's gonna do anything on g3. So here it seems like maybe he just ran out of moves.
Um yeah, like I don't know. For me it's like like I don't know. I'm just trying to justify the decision because I know you don't like it of casting short. I just thought like the only times I see a5, there's like very specific cases where a5 is okay in Maroxy positions, and it was like I didn't think that this was one of them, and I thought that this could easily transpose into one. So it was like that's all I went for. I was like,
Well, I,
okay.
I like that you had some concept of like what you wanted. That
Mhm.
I think is pretty important because if you have like a strategic vision and then your opponent doesn't, that can turn out very nice. Yeah, I think I'm more just I
Upset that
don't
I
love
didn't take
the
your
like changing of the opening, just because we're like worried about the opponent because I feel like
yeah, yeah.
if we spend time studying something, then we should play it. Like that's versus like kind of um, avoiding it because it means then the work done up to this point was kind of in vain. If you just end up castling
I
short anyway.
I didn't even mean to play the e4 like I said that.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
real.
that was really dumb of me, but
um, yeah, I mean, I don't love the strategy also of just kind of going fishing with d4 because
well, like I looked at the line and I was comfortable. Like because it was like pretty likely, and I do have some d4 experience, so it wasn't like I was like playing something I've never played before. It was
okay,
like,
that's
oh,
good.
this person, it looks like there's a weakness in the repertoire. If we don't get into it, I'm gonna be comfortable. Like I don't mind d4 structures or positions. So if
Okay,
if he does something different, then that's fine, whatever. Like
that's good. Yeah, because some players they just like play d4 for the first time, and then it's like the
no, I would
opponent can
never
play any
play.
other opening, and
No,
they're like,
I would
yeah,
never do
they
that
don't
for the
know what
first
they're
time
doing.
OTP. Like I have a few hundred games online with it.
That's good. That's good. Um, okay, well let's get through the game. So
Yeah, e6 was the thing is, yeah,
e6.
h4 was wrong because like they just lose the pawn pretty much by force.
Yeah, it's a big target here. Three. Yeah. No, this was a dragon, but Braden was saying he originally planned to play d4 in the game.
Mhm.
Right, and then you had this, yeah, nice e5. Well, yeah, I mean here your position
Knight on
looks very
b5 is
nice.
excellent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so wait here.
Like even taking with the rook was weird, but at the same time, like I'm pretty sure there was just like if you took with the queen, there's also issues too. You can't take with the pawn because I think rook d6 is just too much. And if you take with the queen, then knight d4 is tempo, right? So like no matter what, you kind of like. This position's already difficult.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I feel like queen takes is still the most natural just to unpin.
Hmm.
So knight d4, let's say queen goes a6 maybe.
Um,
But still should be better for white, yeah?
yeah, I was just wondering if e6 there's issues. Not yet. There's almost issues on e6. There were issues on e6 before, I think.
Yeah, actually, we kind of skipped over that. I was wondering here, right? Oh no, no, sorry, you're
Bishop
still
e3.
pinned, but maybe you could have also done this one.
Well, I was happy with bishop e3 because like I don't really care for my construction with the bishop. Like I want them in the center.
Yeah.
So I just yeah, bishop e3, queen f2, and then just go for this like get something on b5, and then like you're gonna be like stuck with d6 as a weakness like forever.
Yeah, I mean, you
Um,
already want a pawn, right? So it's not like you
yeah, I wasn't trying to go
try.
for anything fancy. Um, yeah, bishop e3, knight c5, knight takes c6, rook takes c6, and then queen f2. Because obviously, if knight d4, then there's knight takes b3,
Wait, sorry, knight
c5,
c5, and then
takes
what were you saying?
c6. Oh, takes c6, takes
Mm-hmm.
c6, and
With
there's
the
no
rook
knight d4 yet because knight takes b3.
here, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha. So queen f2.
yeah, because if knight d4 instead of queen f2, then there's knight takes b3 issues, I think.
Right.
Um, which looks annoying. Um,
You can still go this way. I think you're
yeah,
still
like yeah.
still fine.
Um,
Got knight b5 coming.
e5, e5, knight f5, and then queen takes b3.
Yeah, this
Rook,
one would have
rook
to be
a3,
calculated.
rook a3. There's queen takes b2, so a3 still hanging. I just didn't see a
Oh,
reason to allow any of that.
no, knight f5 I think is threatening mate in one, so that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, mate in one. Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. I missed that.
Yeah, so knight c6 would not be good because takes one piece and then takes the second.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one I think is good
Queen
enough.
b3, 90. Okay, yeah, I missed 97.
Uh, but
Yeah, that's why I went with queen f. Like I went with queen f2 anyways because it was like you can't take
yeah,
on b3.
I don't see the issue with queen f2. I mean, it makes sense with your kind of regrouping. Then okay, now rook goes to b6, which feels very very ugly to me.
And I'm pretty sure there's like there was taking e6 at some point, I think. Uh,
I guess here you could consider.
I think so, yeah. And then pawn takes like bishop takes.
And here,
Um, e5 anyways. What if e5? Oh, maybe you can take on c5 now. So maybe you should just take on f7, then take on e5. Or wait, play e5.
hmm
I don't see a
um,
reason to allow it. So yeah, takes, and then e5. Probably just wins. Maybe.
not sure. I mean, there's still knight d7, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, okay.
Takes like rook takes.
Mhm.
Um,
Maybe it wasn't this specific. Maybe it was earlier. Trying to remember. Maybe I shouldn't be focusing on memory. Maybe I should focus on. But
yeah, I mean, it's also a question like, why do you need this? Because already a pawn
Yeah.
up and strategically better. So to
Yeah,
me,
that's why I
knight
didn't go
b5
for
looks so
public
clean. Yeah,
positions.
that it's okay. And you also have this, so
Mm.
right. And then here it's like it seems over already. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I mean just d6 collapsing and
Mm.
oh you oh oh I thought the idea was to take on f6.
But like why? Because the rook and knight are
The rook
hanging,
is
right?
still hanging. Yeah.
Both pieces are right. So I just took back, and it's like that's the simplest to me. Because if I took the rook, then like maybe they take on a1. Is there any like complications? Maybe there's not, but
No, I was thinking taking this one.
they're gonna f6. Yeah, again, it was just like I think it was just like because my position was so winning, I didn't. I just like saw c takes b3, and it's like you have too many pieces hanging, so you're just gonna lose something. So I didn't really care at this point.
This looks pretty. Yeah, it looks like also just the same thing after rook c6 takes
Mhm.
just piece up.
And then they
Oop.
collapse it. Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't.
Two
Yeah,
pieces up. Oh,
so bad
square
opening
thunder.
to say. Yeah, that was really unexpected, but
Okay,
okay.
good game.
So don't play short castles ever again, or you'll slap me.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a great
Decision.
mindset. It did end up working out.
Mhm.
Um,
It wasn't just the mindset thing. It was also this a5. It was
yeah,
also
yeah,
a5.
yeah. No, no, I understand. Um, it's,
Because normally you get your knight to a5 in these lanes, right? Like in Maroxy positions. So it's like, okay, if they don't get their knight to a5, then it's like, what's going on? I
no, I
like,
mean, there's lots of different plans for black. Um, like with knight e5 or playing for
mhm,
d5. So I don't know.
true.
I mean, it definitely worked out. I feel like for sure black didn't handle it great. Like yes, h4 already I think is kind of losing the thread.
Mhm.
But no, still a very well played game overall, I would say, which is more important. Anything that really happens in the opening.
Yeah, I need to study like I after long castles, I'm out of book for any of those Sicilians.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what I'm doing.
You mean like the dragon and stuff?
Yeah, I just like I don't know because it's like for so long it's like every coach was like do your end games, do your tactics,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I like or like any lectures you see or anything, and like I was so adamant about that for so long that I just didn't touch theory much. Uh, and now it's like I don't know anything about the openings anymore, or like at all. So it's like after long castles in those in like these positions, it's like I pretty much like expect to lose if my opponent knows theory and I don't.
It is dangerous. It is risky because the position's very sharp, and yeah, they know some trick you don't know. It's like can't be a real bummer.
Hmm.
Um, but then you have to rethink your approach to the opening because right now you're kind of going to be walking into these lines if someone wants.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to study openings finally, and I
Hmm.
feel I feel dirty for it, right? Like David would probably smack me or like I don't know.
I
It's like
I don't
yeah,
know.
you
I
do.
mean, I think you're right at the level where it starts to become more important. Um, to at least know what you're doing in the opening. Uh,
Yeah, like
but yeah, I mean,
I
if
don't
you're
know.
playing the Open Sicilian, I mean, you definitely have to be doing a lot of studying. Not necessarily even the lines, just like looking at
Mhm.
games, studying the games, finding ideas, and this kind of thing.
I think the biggest issue for me is like the Taimanov. I think pretty much I'm out of book after like e6. Pretty much. I think it's like knight c3, and then after that, I don't know. I knew that one line that you played with the h4. because I started looking at it finally in the Blitz game that David said
Yeah.
that it was a weird move, but it was actually a top move by Sethu.
No, no, I gotcha. I
So
mean, yeah,
I'm
you're
just
gonna want at least something like some kind of
mhm.
setup to play.
That's why, yeah, like I'm just focusing on like discomfort first. So if I'm not comfortable in that line, then that's what I've been studying. Or like I don't know, if I'm not comfortable in the French, then I'm gonna study the French. Like I'm just like covering what I'm scared of the most first, and then just like trying to patch things up. But it's like it's just taking a long time because it's like
Oh, I know there's so much ground to cover, and I
yeah.
mean, I know you're playing a lot of games in the openings, which I think is also just super important. But I would say you're doing good work. I mean, this tournament was obviously super successful, so you're definitely, I feel like, on the right grind. You're just like absorbing tons and tons of chess, and um, yeah,
More
typically
so
that
like
pays off.
this summer, um, I'm just trying to get through the semi-style book and then complete the classical Sicilian book. Those two, and then like I was doing woodpecker and I still am doing woodpecker, but as you can see, I'm clearly not all in with it, and I'm definitely rushing and I shouldn't be. Um, I just want to get to a point where I'm like not because when I play Blitz or something, and like sure maybe it shouldn't matter if I'm playing Blitz, but if I see a specific opening, I'm like, oh great, I have to play a game or like you know what I mean? Like you ever see an opening that you just don't know well and you're just like, oh great. Maybe you don't
Mm,
experience that because you've studied it a lot, but
no, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, if yeah, the opponent surprised me with some line like I haven't looked at,
it's
and
not even like
then
a line. It's like if I see the Taimanov like e6, if I see e6 after like knight takes d4, it's like, oh great, I have to I have to play against this.
yeah, yeah. So it's a hole. It's a big hole in your repertoire.
Mhm. And like my summer plans are like patching up all the holes, going through those two books because again my like, and then obviously there's some things as white, and then like focusing on like diet and like exercise less so than like calculation.
Well, I mean that stuff is very important. I think another big thing is also just getting as many games in as you can against strong players.
And you would
Excuse me.
definitely say rapid or like sorry classical. Um, okay. Like as you know, my schedule's a bit like not great right now. So like the tournaments are like gonna be guaranteed classical games. I was thinking of maybe doing the dojo one. Is it Saturdays where the games are gonna be played, or is it?
The one that we just announced for the training program.
Mhm.
No, those are going to be individually scheduled. So you just schedule it with your opponent for the week.
I would do it. I just don't want to like mess everyone else up by being like super busy.
Yeah.
Uh, so
No, I mean up
I
to you. Like if you think you can do it, great. If not, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't sign up if you think it's going to be an issue.
mhm. I just like I want to get a lot of games in this summer. I think the biggest thing I'm worried about is time. So for me, it's like maybe my priorities are wrong, focusing on books, like trying to.
Well, yeah, I mean the thing is it's like the opening study only takes you so far, right? So
Mhm.
like you're playing the Sicilian, I think most games you're going to get a good Sicilian and then you're going to have to play that position. So it's still going to be like really sharp and dynamic and yeah, against strong players, I mean they're really going to push you even if you outplay them in the opening. They're always going to fight back and come up with something.
Mhm.
So it's really just the playing experience that I think is it's crucial. Regardless of whatever else you do, it's like the playing experience is the most important thing. But it's not like you have to play all the time. I would say you have an OTB tournament at least once a month or once every couple of months, and
The
you're
plan is
playing
when
some
I'm
games on the
done,
side.
like when I'm
Yeah,
done school, then I want to do one a month.
one a month is great. Like a serious like let's say 5 round or whatever tournaments, and then you can play like training games weekly and mix up the time controls there. But yeah, that I think keeps you in good form, and as long as you're constantly playing, like that's I think where you're going to learn the most about your openings. Honestly, it's just getting the experience through the game.
Okay.
So you're on a good track. What can I say?
Okay. Good.
Yeah, yeah. Keep it up. As long as you enjoy chess and enjoy studying, like it's hard,
No, I never
really
said
hard
I
to go
enjoyed
wrong.
it.
Hmm.
Nothing. I said I never said I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Again, I feel dirty studying openings, you know? It's like I feel like uh I'm like going against the grain by doing it, but for me it feels like a serious problem. And if it's like
Yeah.
if there's openings I'm genuinely like upset to see, I think that's an issue.
Those are the priorities for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I see it as studying new weapons, but
Mhm.
I definitely preach a lot on, on the channel that people in general are kind of obsessed with the openings and they're like trying to learn like lines and memorize moves and yeah, then they just get into positions that they don't like understand how to like the first thing about. So that's of course a big issue. But as players get stronger, and again, I think you're already at this level. They do become more and more important. Not just again, it's not even about the moves. It's really just understanding the plans. Is still by far the most important thing.
Mhm.
And so, ideally, you're playing a repertoire that's built around solid plans that you can kind of follow, even if you don't remember exactly whatever the line is supposed to be. I think that's always kind of the sweet spot.
To end this because it lasted quite long. Uh, I have to ask you the meme question that I think I ask every time. So as a half joke, half not. Do you think I'll be able to hit 2200 at this pace?
At this pace, what do you mean?
I don't know, just like from this tournament, like the games you saw, like from my strength online, all that stuff.
Oh,
Like
for sure, dude, for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're on the path. You're on the track.
I I I think it's a bit of a stretch to expect to this year.
Well, that's the thing.
Uh,
I wouldn't put a time frame on it.
yeah, but like the thing is, I think I'm moving out of the country end of this year. That's the thing. So then I can't get Canadian national master. But if not, like I'll find out at the end of the year if I am moving. But yeah,
But if you're living in
Spain.
Europe, then you would just get your FIDE rating there.
Hmm.
Because I mean, every tournament there is FIDE rated, so you would just get one very quickly.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess like I don't know because it's like I've been going for that national master, and I feel like it's gonna be easier to get national master. You know what I mean?
Then what?
Candidate master,
Oh, getting 2200 Canadian versus 2100 FIDE.
22 FIDE, yeah, for both.
Oh, you need
Yeah.
22. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for you, it's harder to get your FIDE rating up because you're gonna have less FIDE tournaments in Canada. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter. If anything, you would want to play less FIDE tournaments so that your first ones are higher and you get the provisional boost or you take more advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm still in provisional, I think. But there's been a like I have an established FIDE now, and it's not great, but we'll see.
Oh, I see. But I mean,
Yeah.
it'll go up, as long as you just keep playing. So,
Mm.
yeah, I definitely think you have what it takes to get to 2200. I think. I mean, you just well, number one, you have to play, of course,
Yeah.
because especially because your last tournament, like, okay, you scored 4.5 out of 5. That means you need to play stronger players, and then you need to really be challenged by them, and then that'll give you an
Well,
idea of like the next step.
I'm playing up every time I can. I couldn't play up
Yeah.
that turn. Like I
No,
was
no,
like
it's fine. I mean,
because I was like, what was my rating again? It was like 1750, and like it was under 2100 for that tournament.
yeah. I mean, that's you would expect to play up in that event,
Um,
but I guess
yeah,
everyone
so
plays up, right? So it's like a lot
a
of
lot of people played up, yeah, and it was like a lot of like there was a lot of like low 1800s. So okay. Anyways, I don't want to keep you too long. So
no, no, all good. Well, definitely get some tough tournaments in
mhm.
and really push yourself against all players. Don't feel like there's anyone that you can't compete against.
No, you know me, like I'll disagree with David on stream. I don't care. I disagree. I disagree. Remember, like I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah. No, because I mean, yeah, you don't. It's not good to be intimidated by higher rated players. I think it's recipe for disaster.
I just stick with the same thing every time, whether I'm watching lectures or anything. I'm right until I'm proven wrong. So prove me wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I'll change my opinion like that. But like, obviously, if it's not like you got to prove it so I can like actually understand why I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I just go with that. So I don't care if I'm looking at a
Yeah, no, I
computer
think
or
it's a really important point because a lot of players they see a natural move that they want to play, but then it kind of looks scary, and then they don't play it. But they don't
no,
really have like a concrete reason they avoided that.
no, you can't do that. You got to calculate.
You got to play the critical move.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
Seth earlier was talking about it. He was like, I don't care who I'm playing. It's like I'm gonna play what I play, which I think is a great mindset. I think that's very very important to making progress. I mean, in order to go up, you have to start at some point beating players that are higher rated than you or playing on equal terms with them. So at some point, you have to, yeah, think optimistically.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think I'm gonna try to get some blitz games in tonight.
Okay.
But thanks for joining. This was fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's a
and
good discussion as well.
yeah.
And I'll try not to. I feel like I was defending myself too much with this short castles. I'll never do it again. I promise.
No, no, you were fine. I mean, it's good to. No, you definitely even convinced me a bit
Okay.
to your side here because it wasn't easy for Black. I mean, he ended up going wrong very very quickly.
Mhm.
So it definitely worked out in terms of the game. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, man, have a
I'll
good one.
let you
We'll
go.
be in touch.
Enjoy your Blitz games.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right, bye bye.
See ya. Alrighty. So, let's see. I think me and Jesse are actually gonna try to play another blitz match tomorrow on the earlier side for some training. Is um is Cabbage still around? We were thinking about maybe doing some training games at some point. If you have time, that could be fun. Yeah, Seth, I'll be playing James Canty, which is gonna be a very very tough match. Um, I'm not sure when we're playing yet. We haven't figured it out yet. My guess is it's gonna be sometime in the next 2 weeks, most likely. They've already started scheduling some matches for next week. So I think maybe maybe beginning of the following week, like the week of the 16th. I'm not really sure. I mean, they haven't really asked us, and apparently there's a couple weeks that they're going to be holding these first matches because I think they want to spread them out a couple days or so. Um, well, yeah, David is playing. I think the top seed in the whole tournament. Young Russian player Polina Shuvalova, I think. Who I didn't know she was a good blitz player. I know she's like a very promising junior player. But yeah, apparently she's also a really really strong blitzer. So he has his work cut out for him. That's for sure. Yeah, Cabbage. Maybe you can send me. Yeah, I assumed she was GM or close to GM. I don't even know. Maybe you can send me a challenge like 3-1. We can just play a bunch of 3-1 games. Maybe 1-1. Honestly, I don't know. Feel like my bullet is definitely my weakest weakest spot. All right. Oh man, bullet's gonna be tough. But yeah, maybe you can give me give me some tips after. But I think 1-1 is probably the biggest thing I have to practice. It's like 1-0. Yeah, it's very, very fast. All right, here we go. Oh my god, you're 2900, dude. Oh, brutal. I'm not sure I've even played a 2900 in Blitz. This is gonna be painful. I'm sure this is the best spot for my king. Okay, GG. Hmm. GG. Yeah. Yeah. We'll play this one. Oh, my bad. Forgot about that queen there. Oh, next one. Yeah. We're losing. Okay, GG. Let's go back to D4. Try more of this. These positions maybe a little bit more intuitive for me, but we'll see. Wow. Wow, that was tough. Oh man. Yeah, unfortunately we blew it at the end there. Give me just a minute if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, too fast. Yeah, this was good. Although, yeah, it seemed like this position should be good for white, but like queen h6. Oh, h6. Oh yeah. H7. This is probably good. Or... yeah, it looks good, right? Queen f6, rook g8. Yeah. But okay, you would just give the rook on g7, but then... yeah, it's still trying to take on h6. Or on g6. Yeah, too fast. Oh man. Well, okay. Thankfully, I think you're a much stronger opponent than who I'm gonna get, but it's good. It's good training. It's good to feel the difference in class. Yeah, I mean, right, time usage. Yeah, I feel like, well, I don't know. I mean, I thought even if just when we're down to 15 seconds, it's just like the quality is just so different. Even if I'm ahead like by a couple of seconds, it's like doesn't yeah, it's just so hard to keep coming up with good moves. I would definitely take 1/800 strength over over Shuvalo. Although I don't know, maybe she's like an amazing bullet player too. Oh, I see. Yeah, it feels like that's definitely something I had to work on with the blitz, is not getting low on time in like in 3 minute 10+1. Looks like I gotta get going actually. But okay, thanks for the training. I'll be back tomorrow to play a bit with Jesse as well. And I'm just gonna keep trying to play as much as I can before the match. Try to get a little sharper, a little faster. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks to everyone who hung out for the stream. Let me find someone to raid. Let's see. Oh, Chessbra is also doing a HelloFresh sponsorship. That's great. That's funny. Let's see, who should we raid? for $100 match. All right, let's raid RHS. Looks like she's prepping for some big match. Kind of similar to what we were just doing. So, all right, guys. Have a good one, y'all. Catch you next time.